up? Let me see if I can't get this adjusted. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So, some people might call this a fireside chat. It's just a video. A lot of y'all said y'all wanted to see a video of me talking about my silent retreat and how that went and just the whole process. And in a short answer, it was transformative, eye-opening. It was educating. It was it's just a prolonged moments of deep introspection and allowing myself to be quiet for extended period of time to actually hear myself think and hear myself receive from God, creator, source, whatever you want to call he, she, or it. So I had some interesting revelations when I was there. It was almost like everything was a lesson. Like I was observing nature. I was out in nature. I was quiet. I didn't say a word to anybody. I think the only time I said something was when I ran into a big ass spider web, and I think I got video of it. I was like, oh shit, you know, I said something like that. But as far as exchange with somebody else or like even saying thoughts out loud, that never happened. Everything was more so like an observation. Like I learned, and I have to keep reminding myself daily, like what I learned there, one of the lessons I learned was thoughts are to be observed and then utilized. They're not to be utilized immediately. Meaning, thoughts, we essentially don't know where thoughts come from. Thoughts scientifically are the culmination of chemical and biological and physiological factors within us that spring up certain thoughts. So they're you can't always rely on a thought without observing it first. You know, you can't always act out on a thought without observing it first. So this whole process taught me to really observe my thoughts before I act out on them. So that was a big thing for me. But man, my average day just consisted of, I would wake up, I'd meditate. I'd wake up early, I'd meditate for about 45 minutes, and then I'd go on a prolonged walk, a hike. I mean, the area that I was at, here's a map. The area that I was at was over 106 acres, and it had a ridge that went up and overlooked the property. There was a lake there. I mean, it was just a peaceful time. Like, I can't really fully explain everything to you without you being there and experiencing it real time. But, you know, here's just I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this was the map, and everything highlighted in pink is what I did and where I went. So I went through the entire campus. There's a fire pit. I did the labyrinth, which is it's a form of walking meditation where you just walk around a pattern. There's only one way in and one way out, but it takes you quite a bit to go all the way throughout the entire pattern. And you walk into it with an intention on your mind, something that you want clarity on or something that you want revelation about. One important thing that I would say, like if anybody that's out there, I know a couple of y'all said y'all were thinking about doing something similar, Vipassana meditation or Vipassana retreat where it's complete silence. I was very particular to not go into this with any expectations, because if I put expectations on it, then that would automatically cause me to like be looking for something that may not necessarily be there. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to make a lesson out of picking a blade of grass or a leaf falling from the sky. You know, sometimes there's not a lesson in everything. You kind of got to be quiet and nurture that inner deeper voice inside of you to understand and have that discernment over what is truly meant to be a lesson and what isn't. So that's a good way to segue into some of the things that I actually learned. I had a culmination of like, the whole experience was it was just lessons on lessons on lessons. This journal, man, I've journaled over the past like 4 to 5 years on and off. And it's interesting some of the stuff I have in here. I'm not gonna waste time on it. Some of this stuff is crazy. But yeah, let's just, I'll share some in briefness, share something with you. So lesson one was anything that poses or presents itself as a perceived challenge to you is actually an opportunity to grow that is specific to your journey. Short version, Your weaknesses are tests meant for you to overcome in order to grow. This lesson came to me within minutes of being there. It's a real long story, and I don't want to make this video too long. But basically, what happened was there were two beds as soon as I walked in. One bed was neatly made with all the linens and everything on it, ready for me to just hop on and go. But behind the bed was like a huge cave cricket. Like, I mean, it was about that big, right? And so while I wasn't like scared of shaking in my boots, it's just like, man, dang, man, that's my least favorite insect. Especially when I got kids now. You know, I got a baby. I'll kill a bug now and not even think twice. I can't run the risk of her getting bit by something that looks like a brown recluse. If you're a spider in my house, I know what a brown recluse looks like, but if you look close to it, you got to go. Sometimes I can catch you, sometimes I can't. But in all of the bugs, man, the cave cricket, man, that's the one that I hate. It's just slimy. They jump and you don't know where they end up. Like, they could jump and end up on your shirt, in your pants, and your under. They do what they want to do, right? And so the thought of me sleeping with my head right beside this was crazy. So long story short, man, I had tried to muster up all these ways where I could like salvage the bug and get it out of there without killing it. I go to approach it to knock it off the wall. It was already dead. And it was just a moment where in that silence, I kind of laughed because I built up this image of what I thought was gonna happen. And that kept me from taking action and learning that the victory is already won. Like, the bug was already dead. It was just stuck there on the wall for whatever reason. I just had to act in faith to prove that, you know, sometimes what we put our minds to and make things out to be aren't exactly what they are. We just gotta act and have that innocence of a child sometimes and just act in faith. And a lot of times we'll find out that the battle's already won. So that was lesson number one for me. Lesson number two. Success is not guaranteed, but faith in action is. And so the thing about this, I came to this conclusion was, I don't hike. I love being outside, I love outdoors, but I don't hike. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of preparation that goes into that, a lot of uncertainty that goes into that. I've never done it, you know, so I just it's not been something that I've been interested in. So I decided to hike, and I don't know how many miles this hike was, but it was on the ridge. So the ridge has an elevation of over 200 feet, right? So I'm going, man, and I'm walking, and the further and deeper I get in, the crazier the noises get. Like, I'm hearing noises from animals that I've never even heard of on Animal Discovery Channel or whatever it is, like Animal Planet. I'm hearing like banjo sounds. I'm hearing like I'm hearing vultures. I'm hearing all types of stuff, man. And so with every turn, I'm like, man, I'm underprepared. Like, if a bear is out here, dunzo, I'm done. There's no hope for me. I better hope I can climb faster than that bear can get to me, right? But it's funny, it goes hand in hand with the first lesson. Like, in my mind, I'm playing up all these things. I'm having all these thoughts, and I'm acting out on them internally and having these emotional responses. And all I need to do is just have faith in action. Just keep moving, one foot in front of the other. So that's what I did. And with every turn, there was uncertainty. But along the way, there were little clues that showed me I was going in the right direction as long as I kept moving. If I had stopped or stayed still, I would get attacked by mosquitoes and these bugs would be all up in my face. It was almost like clockwork. And so the lesson of that is, you know, if you stay stagnant and you don't move towards a goal, or you don't at least pursue or have faith in action, you'll get distractions, you'll get annoyances, you'll get, you know, deviations from a path that might actually be meant for you. You just have to have faith in action. And, you know, every time before a hike, you got to be prepared. You got to have your stuff on you. You got to pack and anticipate what you might come across. And that's kind of the same on life's journey. In any endeavor, anything that you're going to go into that you may not have experience in, you got to prepare the best way you can with what you have. And then you continue to move through faith, through action. And you might just get there. All right. So oh man, I highlighted this. Man, I gotta share this. So sometimes we view success as an endpoint, a destination, but as the human experience will always prove, we seek more constantly. Success not being guaranteed means that the feelings of true fulfillment don't always come when you reach a goal. And if they do, they are fleeting, i.e., one is often left with the statement, now what, after achieving something major. Faith in action is the journey. It is the self-imposed challenge to believe that where you are going will be fulfilling along the way. And here I have this highlighted. By not putting a stopping point on success, you can live a life of fulfillment. Gems. Lesson 2.5. Every decision has a consequence. Doesn't mean it's a good consequence or a bad consequence. It can be likened to the one of the laws of physics is every action has an equal or greater reaction. Lesson 3. Life, just like nature, is beautiful, but it is not elegant. And I'll read the first part to that. What I mean by that in the lesson was beauty is respected. It is adorned and admired, and when faced with something beautiful, you can't help but observe it and be near it. Elegance seeks to impress the ego. Elegance seeks to surpass beauty. Elegance is unapproachable. Elegance has no flaws, therefore it is not totally balanced. It is not natural. It is not beauty. Beauty, especially in nature, is balanced. That is the source of beauty. The delicate dance between inspiring and intimidation causes you to resonate with it. This dance is life. Life will not always be elegant, but it will in the end be beautiful. Man, I mean, there's a whole lot more to that, but I'm just trying to keep this video under 20 minutes. Lesson 3.5. Anger only works against you most of the time. Lesson 4. Got a vulture flying over my house. Is that a lesson? Probably not. Lesson 4. Aha moments, breakthroughs, and miracles only come when you surrender. Faith through action, right? And how I explained that or how this came about is, here's the brief explanation. Thinking back on some of history's greatest discoveries, they've always come at times when ego's control was surrendered. When you're constantly looking for a miracle, you are communicating that you are in control and thus need no miracle. When you trust for a miracle, you make your request known and hang in the balance until it comes. You still apply faith through action. But to sit and wait for a miracle, while possible, cheats you out of the learning experiences and adventure that God has for you. God makes his solutions perfect, both for and with you. But you must move in faith and trust. Breakthrough, success, aha moments that come by way of brute force of man happen all the time, but they end in peril and breed peril in the lives they drag with them. I couldn't come up with this stuff on my own without actually shutting up long enough to get these lessons given to me. The final lesson was this, and I might make a separate video that will highlight my spiritual journey and where I'm at now. My final lesson through this, I learned God is always with us. We are an extension of God, without which we amount to very little. And I have to read this to explain. God gives us a neutral power that can do the impossible. Using this power without acknowledging the source always ends in hardship. True godly power is perfect. It can accomplish the impossible. When we walk and live in this, we can be sure that it has been tailored for us specifically through and from love. We have power to accomplish on our own, but when we surrender and get out of the way, the full extent of God's power can be experienced. God has always been in us. And so what I mean by that is, like, this isn't a situation where I'm saying that this is exclusive to the God of the Bible. This is exclusive to the God of the Quran. This is exclusive to the gods and other polytheistic. I mean, it's like, to me, I believe that there's one God, and I believe that God is so big, so huge, and so intelligent that we can't box him in. And our only goal in life is to seek who he, she, or it is. I'm just gonna say he for now. Just know that I don't think it is limited to any one gender. I think it's bigger than all of that. God is unfathomable. If he wasn't, and he was easily understood, then life really wouldn't be worth living in some aspects. Unless of course you don't believe in God. But if you don't believe in God, then you're just left with a bunch of trivial questions that have no real answers. I don't know. But I'll tell you this. When I left, I was actually not dependent on my GPS to get me back. I decided to do it just from memory. I ended up getting lost. And in getting lost, I ended up on the side of town where my father's buried. So I said, you know what, I'm just go over, say what's up, you know, I'm gonna read my journal to him, you know, and I get there, pull up, I get out of the car, I got my journal in my hand, I walk up to his grave, and I just started crying. And then, man, because let me explain. My dad was a deeply spiritual person. Everything long story short, it can't be a long story short. Basically, everything that we're experiencing today, my dad has notes about happening. My dad was deep into spirituality, and a lot of that he would even say was sparked on by my thirst for it. You know, I went through every stage of spirituality you could go through. Not believing, agnostic, Christian, Jehovah. I read some of the Quran for a while. And just sharing this on camera is a big step in my spiritual development, because I always felt a certain level of like ridicule if I would come out and speak on these types of things and speak on them how I think about them, right? So my dad was deeply spiritual, and so I just wanted to share with him what I had learned. So I got there and I was like, man, if I believe in the spirit world and believe that his spirit still lives on, then he was there with me while I was learning this stuff. I don't need to share it with him. So I closed my notebook up, and I'm getting ready to leave, and this guy comes walking with his son, his young son. He's coming to visit a grave site there that's right in front of my father, like right in front of him. As I'm walking away, he said, God be with you, peace, brother, something like that. And that's like something my dad would say, even whether he was being goofy or serious. My dad would say stuff like that from time to time. And so I got my car and something hit me and said, no, I'll go talk to him. So I got out of the car, I started talking to him. I said, hey, you said something my father actually used to say, something a whole lot similar. He used to also say assalamu alaikum in the house when I was younger, growing up, you know. Peace be with you, peace be upon you, God be with you, or whatever it meant. And so he laughed, and we got to talking, and he shared with me something that was important. And it was almost like my dad was speaking through him. And it was like that cherry on top of my entire experience. He said, you know, I'm here visiting my son. My son died in May. Car accident, going somewhere he shouldn't have been going at a time he shouldn't have been going. And he said he was dating a girl. You know, my son was dating a girl who was starting to get interested in her spiritual walk. And he was leading by example. He was pretty spiritual. You know, he believed in God and followed the Bible and did what he could do. And, you know, he used to play football. He used to play basketball downtown at a local school. And he said, you know, I used to play basketball growing up. So what I like to do is I like to be away from everybody. I go up to the top corner of the rafters and I just sit by myself and watch the game, watch my son play. He said his girlfriend walked up the bleachers one day and said, hey, I heard that, you know, you used to be a preacher and you're pretty close with God and your son seems to have a relationship. I'm trying to work on my relationship with God. Can you help me in my journey? And he said, yeah, before we do that, I need you to answer one question. And she said, sure. He said, well, before you can have a relationship with God, you need to tell me who God is. And so the girl goes, well, I believe God is so-and-so in my life. And he looked at her and said, nope. And she said, well, I believe God is this for me, and he means this in my life. He said, nope. And she says again, well, I think he does this for me, and he provides this for me. And he said, nope, nope, nope. And after a couple more tries and goes at this, she finally just seemed dejected, is what he said. And she said, well, I don't know. Dropped her shoulder, said, I don't know. I don't know who God is. And she said, and that's when he looked in her eyes and smiled and said, you're exactly right. That's the correct answer. You don't know. Nobody truly knows. And that's the beauty of it. I spent a lot of my life trying to find them, trying to figure them out, trying to understand them. And here I am, full circle, back to realizing that we can't know God. We can get close to him. We can seek his truth by observing the natural and the supernatural. So that was it. That was my experience, man. It was a great experience. I think anybody that's sitting thinking about doing a silent retreat should totally do it. It was eye-opening. And just, I didn't have my phone this whole time. I had no phone, no TV, no nothing. Just me, my journal, some snacks, and a huge jug of water. And it was really beneficial. I enjoyed it. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. It allowed me to recharge. And, you know, coming back into society was weird too. It was like, I don't know, I just saw a lot of the waste that we had and that we have in life. I saw a lot of missed opportunity, waste time, futile words that we share from time to time, unnecessary, unproductive behaviors that we have. You know, I learned a lot. It was a great experience, and it was exactly the amount of time that I needed. The whole reason I did it, like I said, I just heard a voice after my father passed, told me to go away in silence. And obviously there was something there for me, so I highly recommend it. I think everybody should do it. I think everybody that's ready to do it should do it. Everybody don't want to, not everybody's brave enough to be alone with themselves. That doesn't make me a brave character, but you start to think about some crazy stuff, and once you can get past a couple hours where you're thinking off a habit, and you get out of that mind state, and you're able to just hone in and listen to the true voice, your God voice, it becomes really and truly beneficial. It becomes quite the experience. So that's all I got. Thought I'd share that with y'all. Nothing too fancy. I was gonna do this in one take, but the video's already 20 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop this up. I got to. So until next time, stay cool, stay smooth, and stay true. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.
That was easy.